And we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give it just another minute to let everyone enter, and we'll get started at about 12:01. So let's just give it another minute, all right? Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Eleanor Chin, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Student Engagement here at the Robinson College of Business. And it is my great pleasure today to welcome you to this webinar, Scholarships at RCB, which is part of our webinar series entitled We're in This Together. We have a great program for you today, but before we get started, I'd like to just review a few quick logistics. First, we will be recording today's session, and we will send you a link to the recording along with any other materials from the event. We have allocated about 10 to 12 minutes for Q&A. You also have the option of entering your question in the chat, and the panelists and I will try to answer your questions live as they come in. You may also raise your hand electronically, and my colleague extraordinaire, Marcus Erkart, will start your video and unmute you. Now, I want you to remember that if you do that, because we are recording, you will be on camera and will be part of the event recording, so keep that in mind. We will get through in this session as many questions as possible, but if we don't get to your questions during the session, we will follow up with you after, okay? During the session, we will also have one or two short polls. Please be prepared to answer those. They'll stay up for roughly 1 minute. Now, without any further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Dean Richard Phillips. He is the 7th Dean of the Robinson College of Business and has been our Dean since 2014. And during that time, as you all know, he has strengthened our ties to the global business community, modified our curriculum to keep pace with all the ever-evolving needs of business, making us a stronger and more dynamic and fabulous business college of business. So without any further ado, Dean Phillips.
Thank you, Eleanor, and welcome everyone to this event, current issue of our We're in This Together series. We're really excited to be with you here today and really thrilled that all of you could be here to learn about the scholarships that are available for you to apply for. As you may know, if you were here last year, this was the last week of on-campus programming before the pandemic last year. And then we had spring break last week at this time, or next week, this time last year. And then we came back all virtually. So the world has certainly changed a lot in the last 52 weeks. We're about to change again very much. The vaccines are making it through the state of Georgia, we've moved from Group 1A of 65-year-olds and older getting the vaccine now down to 55-year-olds and older, and they'll be continuing to make it through our population. So for students, that means that who'll be coming back next year, hopefully we'll be returning to campus for classes next year. And for those of you that are graduating and seniors, you'll be seeking jobs and hopefully getting employment opportunities and then working at your employers. Many of you will be going back into offices. Many of you may be continuing to work in a virtual way from home or home offices and spending some time in the office and some time at home. So we'll all figure out together what the next normal looks like as we go forward. But for now, we continue to work in this virtual way. And as we say in this series, we're all in this together. working together to figure out how it is that we collectively work and collaboratively work together to advance you through your studies ultimately to graduation. Today, we want to talk about money. And there's many scholarship opportunities here at the Robinson College of Business, hundreds of scholarship opportunities to be precise. And we want to share with you what those scholarship opportunities look like, both from the perspective of faculty, from the perspective of the people that run the scholarship committees here that give out the money and make the decisions, and also some of the strategies that your fellow students have used to gain access to some of this scholarship money. And I think one of the really important lessons that you're going to learn here today is that scholarship money is only one of the ways that you can finance your education. And it's just one of the tools that you should be thinking about as you go through and think about how you finance your education. There's others as well, including grants, including the opportunity to take advantage of what Eleanor said earlier of our business partners and thinking about internships and getting jobs, professional jobs, oriented jobs while you're here. So there's multiple ways to think about financing your education. We're excited to talk about scholarships with you here today. Let me tell you who you're going to be meeting. First up will be a representative from our development office who works with our donors and our donor community. Yvonne Segovoya has been with the University System of Georgia, working for multiple institutions here in the public university system for over 20 years. And he'll be sharing with you how he works with donors and how the scholarship process works. You'll meet a department chair, Professor Debbie Cannon. Professor Cannon is the director of our School of Hospitality, and she works very closely with the corporate partners that we have who work with the hospitality industry and with the hospitality students. And she will talk with you about how it is that she works in partnership with the industry to find scholarship opportunities for students, and internship opportunities may also be part of that conversation today. We're thrilled to have Professor Cannon here with us today. We have a student, Jeremy Marcana Gonzalez, who's a hospitality student. Jeremy is the current vice president of Gamma Phi chapter of the Lambda Theta Pi Latin fraternity. And more importantly for this session today, Jeremy has received 10 scholarship awards during his academic career. There's lots of experience in applying for and winning scholarships. He'll share some of his tips and tricks with you here today. We have a faculty member with us today, Professor Jim Luck. Professor Luck is a faculty member in the Risk Management and Insurance Department who teaches business law for us here today. Jim spent 30 years of his career in the profession working as a corporate attorney and ultimately rising to become the chief legal officer and the general counsel for 3 separate publicly traded companies here in the Southeast, one of them being Spectrum Brands, one of them being Mohawk Industries, which you may know is the floor covering company up in Northwest Georgia, and then ServiceMaster Global Holdings Incorporated. Jim will talk about how he works with students to give reference letters and to help them think about giving advice and scholarship strategies. We have a director of graduate student services here today with us, Winnie Akonde. Winnie works in our school with our School of Accountancy and our accountancy students. Winnie is a double graduate from the Robinson College of Business with her undergraduate degree here in accounting and her master's of taxation from Georgia State University. She first began working in the accounting profession before coming back to work with graduate students and undergraduate students at the Robinson College of Business. And she has a lot of experience in helping students navigate the world of accounting and gaining access to scholarships in accounting. Alicia Golar works in our Department of Computer Information Systems. She's an academic administrative specialist in that department. And more importantly for this talk today, she is the major advisor for students in that undergraduate program. She acts as the liaison for students in their senior year who are seeking internships and co-op opportunities for CIS majors to the industry. And she helps manage the scholarship opportunities for undergraduate students in the CIS department. Alicia, thank you for being here today. And last but not least, we have Ms. Colleen Joyce, who's here with us today. She's the Director of Academic Advisement for the Robinson College of Business. She runs the Office of Academic Advisement, and she also is the chair of the Scholarship Committee for the Robinson College. And she has many years of experience, both in providing academic advice to students, as well as giving them advice about how to secure scholarships and funding for their degrees. So without further ado, we have an esteemed panel, and I will turn it over to them to continue this conversation.
Hello, everyone. As Dean Phillips introduced, I'm Yvonne. I'd like to start in a way that might be a little unorthodox. I'd like to go ahead and start off with a poll. So let's get that poll up there. How comfortable do you feel applying for scholarships? Have you done it a lot? Have you never applied? Are you nervous about it? Are you excited? Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking. I know we have several students here today. We'll give that a little bit of time. All right, excellent. Great, so most people here have done this before, but would like some tips and tricks. But we do have a variety of answers, and I hope for anyone that feels nervous about it, that we can help clear some stuff up for you, clarify how the process works, and maybe some best practices. In talking about scholarships, it might be best to start at the beginning, which is with the scholarship donor. Almost every scholarship we have here at Robinson began as a philanthropic gift from a donor. Some donors are alumni who feel that their experience here was crucial to their success, and they want to give back to help others follow that same path. They might have even received a scholarship while they were here, and they want to pay it forward. Others want to make access to higher education more equitable or remove barriers to a college education. Some might be community leaders or industry partners who know that access to education can change whole communities and generations, and they want to ignite that change. In every case, they are inspired by our students here at Georgia State, your talent, your creativity, and your determination. So understanding the purpose for a scholarship is crucial because that dictates the criteria for that scholarship. Some scholarships are merit-based, meaning we're looking for high scholastic achievement. These might have a GPA requirement, while others might not have a GPA requirement at all, but might be looking for leadership abilities or community service or participation in certain clubs or organizations. The main page for Robinson Scholarships has a description of each scholarship and its criteria, as does the main GSU page for scholarships. And we'll share those links with you later on. For now, just to start with, let's watch a short video about some student experiences with scholarships and hear from a donor about why they established their scholarship.
As a computer information system major, I one day want to become a technical project manager. The scholarships also partnered with a one-on-one mentorship program to assist me in my career and academic advancement.
Receiving this scholarship allowed me to focus on finding an internship that would gain me experience that would then be a springboard for my future career. Currently, I work as an intern for Hunter Hotel Advisors. They are an investment advisory firm. In the long run, this experience will be invaluable to be able to look at employers and tell them I know how to put what I've learned into action.
When I got the scholarship, it took a weight off of my shoulders. It really just helped me focus on, more so on school and not so like financial objectives that I needed to meet.
I'm the first person in my family to pursue a master's degree, but I didn't have money to finish my thesis. This scholarship, it allowed me to pay for one more semester and finish my thesis.
I was so excited to be selected because I am a first-generation student. I am the oldest from my family, and we don't have all the money that we need to pay college tuition. My parents didn't go to college, so they didn't really know how the system worked.
The Salamanca Scholarship was funded in order to enable first-generation college students who are leaders in the Latin community and are interested in entrepreneurship.
They're the first ones in their family to attend college, so they have no idea how to even start with the application process. We wanted to be able to give this scholarship so that they can really have the college experience and use it for whatever they might need most.
Great, so as you can see, many of the scholarships discussed in this video weren't just about having a high GPA, but they were specific to what you do, who you are, what your goals might be. As I mentioned, each page for scholarships at Robinson and GSU have a description of each scholarship and its criteria. For scholarships through the Dean's Office, one application is used to apply for a large number of scholarships, and the scholarship committee uses your responses to find the best applicants for each individual scholarship and its criteria. So it's important to make a great first impression on that application. That application is open now through the end of the month, and it offers space for you to tell us about yourself. So in that application, you want to go beyond your field of study, beyond just your GPA, and really tell us who you are and what your goals are, and any experience you have that might be relevant to the scholarships that you expect to qualify for. Some of our departments use a different process, and we'll hear about those processes in a little bit. But for now, maybe think about applying for scholarships the way you might think about applying for a job. You want to stand out, you want to show everything you have to offer, and when you're applying for a specific scholarship, you want to tailor your responses appropriately, just like you would your resume. So tell us who you are and why you're uniquely qualified to receive a scholarship. And anytime you have the opportunity to list anything that might make you stand out, do it. That's not just a best practice for scholarships at GSU, it's a good approach anywhere. On the back end, after everything is done, everyone else will probably, after me, will talk about the process that they go through in awarding the scholarship and what happens afterwards. When you receive a scholarship, you'll be given an opportunity to write a thank you note to the donor. This isn't just an opportunity to show your gratitude, it's really a chance for them to get to know you personally. So make it personable. Let them know the impact the scholarship has had, and it will let them know that they made a difference. As the person who interacts with these donors, I get to pass these notes on to them, and you would be amazed at the number of students who say in their thank you note, I am so honored. I never thought that I would ever receive a scholarship in my college career. You've changed my life. You've changed my whole outlook. So don't count yourself out or think that it's an impossible task to get a scholarship. Take a look at what we have available and give it everything that you've got. Our scholarship donors aren't only inspired by high scholastic achievement, although it helps. They're also inspired by what you as students accomplish in your lives and the obstacles you've overcome to get a college education, and they want to help you with that. So if you ever have any questions about the scholarship awarding process or any particular scholarship, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to the Robinson College of Business Office of Development. We are here to help.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Now I'd like to move on to a discussion of the scholarships available in departments. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Debbie Cannon from the Cecil B. Day School of Hospitality, forgive me.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about scholarships through the Cecil B. Day School of Hospitality. We are always very excited to support our students, and I want to share both some of those sources and very quickly turn it over to Jeremy Marcano Gonzalez, who has been truly our star scholarship recipient in many ways. So to move to our scholarship criteria, and Yvonne hit on a number of these. We do look at scholastic performance. That's certainly important, as well as work experience, extracurricular activities, and particularly career goals. Financial need is layered in, but we really want to get the total picture of the student. One of the things that I want to highlight is that in red, we put get involved with the School of Hospitality. This is obviously for hospitality majors in terms of scholarships. But what we mean by this is if you have not had the opportunity to get informal or formal leadership experience, a way to do that is through student organizations. And that is always, I think, a highlight on a scholarship application to show that you were a leader in a student organization. And we have a number of organizations for people that are interested in the hospitality industry. And they've been able, over the years, a number of students to have leadership positions as officers, or even to lead a particular event or fundraiser. And so I encourage you, whatever your department is, to know your student organizations, get involved with those, and also know when there are maybe volunteer activities. Sometimes those are on the department level, sometimes the college level, sometimes even the university level, but that's a wonderful way to show that you're involved. As we move from the criteria, this is just a list of some of our scholarships. We are very lucky to have a wide variety and a number from which students can select. Our process is that we have students submit one application through the school, and we do have a scholarship committee. And then depending on the student's background, where they've worked, what their career goals are, what they are taking courses in, particularly as electives in the major, then we try to find the scholarship that is the best fit. In reviewing a number of scholarships over the years, I will tell you that sometimes the answers are very brief. And this is an opportunity, and Yvonne said this very well, to really tell about yourself and to amplify what you've done in a very positive way. And Jeremy has done a superb job, obviously getting 10 scholarships in his academic career. He is definitely a student to use as a best practice. But I personally looked at Jeremy's scholarship with the committee, and for one of our scholarships through the American Hotel and Lodging Association, he was awarded a scholarship, the Rama Scholarship for the American Dream, which has a wonderful background of donors who came to this country and created such success, not only for themselves, but for generations and their families and are leaders in our industry. But Jeremy went on to compete on a national level for a scholarship that is only awarded to 3 students nationwide that are in the hospitality field. And he was awarded one of those coveted 3 scholarships. And having read Jeremy's career statement, he actually went beyond what was allocated with a few lines in the application to create an attachment, and went into one of the most sincere, the most clear, the most compelling career goals that I have ever read. We were certainly touched on the departmental level, but on the national level, it was obvious that the National Scholarship Committee was equally as impressed. And I just want to turn it over to Jeremy, one, with lots of congratulations and kudos for such a wonderful accomplishment for these scholarships and others, but to ask him a little bit about what went into that career goal and what was his strategy? So Jeremy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much, Dr. Cannon. First and foremost, hello, everyone. Thank you very much again for the opportunity to be a part of this event. Like Dave said, my name is Jeremy Marcano Gonzalez. I'm currently a senior majoring in hospitality administration. And yeah, I mean, throughout the years, ever since I started my education under the state, I've been blessed. I've been honored with several awards. This just came with a motivation, with a passion of course, finding my way to fund my education. When I came to the United States, I was, of course, for a time, I had to pay out-of-state tuition. I wasn't a resident, so I had to find my way to be able to afford that. And that took a lot of hours and dedication of finding scholarships and donors and just opportunities. And that's what I've been doing ever since, thankfully. As far as the actual application, when it comes to the processing, all that stuff. Major tip that I like to say is that when you're doing your statement, when you're filling your application, when they ask you about yourself and your career goals, just pour yourself, pour all of your passion, pour all of your motives, be genuine, because I feel like one of the most common mistakes is that students tend to be robotic and like general, like talk about general points. But if you really kind of like show your heart through your application, then those donors will actually see that you really want this. What do you really want to accomplish? How do you really want to help your community? What impact do you really want to do? And that was just like my mindset throughout all these years. Just like Dr. Cannon said, thankfully I've been awarded several scholarships throughout the years, and it's been pretty, helpful. Like in the video, it really does help to kind of like focus more on your school. And, academic excellence is one of my main focuses, and something that I really do strive for. So it's really been a great journey. But I mean, yeah, if anybody has any questions, I guess quick questions that they would like to ask me, feel free. I'm here to help.
Jeremy, thank you so much. And I know that when we circle around at the end and have the time for students to ask questions, that there will be some directly for you. I think Jeremy just sized it up, in terms of be sincere, take the time, really pour your enthusiasm into this application. I want to point out with our scholarships in the School of Hospitality, so many of these donors are here in this area, or they are coming in and out of Atlanta to do business. And oftentimes they do ask to meet the scholarship recipients, sometimes even have coffee or a meal with them, which is really nice. So someone mentioned earlier the networking that starts. There's tremendous networking that is available through that scholarship opportunity. Also, having a scholarship on your resume, and be sure that you always include those scholarships on your resume, are door openers. I know in Jeremy's case, the fact that he won that National Arthur Packard Scholarship through the American Hotel and Lodging Association, that someone is going to see that, many people most likely, and they will say, oh, you're a Packard Award winner, scholarship award winner. Please, we want to meet you. And so that resume with the scholarships listed can certainly help in your career search. We also offer through the School of Hospitality scholarships that go towards signature experiences and certain trips. Some of these are domestic trips like the National Restaurant Show, the Hunter Hotel Conference. Others, such as the Young Hotelier Summit, are actually out of the country. That one is located in Switzerland. But we fund these trips using the money that we have raised through scholarship sources, and it just provides wonderful experiential learning for our students, networking for them, and the ability to, again, build that resume and have another line on it. Lastly, would just like to highlight that these are ways to get in touch with us. If you are a major or a potential major and you want more information, we certainly stand ready, and both myself, other faculty, as well as our staff are very, very eager to help any student in the scholarship process. You know, the money is important, there's no doubt. Helping with your funding and funding your education is extremely, is a priority for all of us. But just think of the other things that the scholarships bring with it in terms of networking, that resume building, helping in terms of your career planning. There are so many other very, very important advantages that extend way beyond graduation date, that go years into your career. So now I'm turning it over, yes, to another department. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for everyone for joining and giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the School of Risk Management and Insurance and their scholarships. Lots of scholarships available for RMI and actuarial science students in the department. And just, I have to just say how impressed I am. I'm fairly new to academia and I'm fairly new to Georgia State, sort of in my second year here, and learning a lot about the scholarship opportunities and everything I've heard, in my couple of years here, what Yvonne is saying and Dr. Cannon and Jeremy. I just have to echo it. It's so impressive throughout, the Robinson College and all the departments, how just how available scholarships are and how exciting that is, and what an incredible opportunity for our students. In talking about what risk management, right? So we're the risk management insurance department, and we have these scholarships available to our students at any level. There are opportunities. We have over 24 scholarship opportunities. We have donors, 20 plus donors who donate annually. We sign up new ones every year. And some of the really cool things about risk management and insurance is, number one, it's a hot field. I know sometimes we think, well, it's just selling insurance or filing claims. It's not. It's so much more than that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's an exciting opportunity. And as risks change in our world and as they affect any type of business, any type of government, our students in risk management, insurance, and actuarial science play a key role in supporting our economic growth, not only our country, but our businesses. And some of the cool things about risk management insurance is we have our own foundation. And there's a risk management foundation with the board of directors made up of industry executives. There's so many connections, personal connections with our scholarship winners, with our scholarship process, and with industry. And so when you look, and I urge you all, whether you're an RMI or not, take a look at our webpage. You can access it through the RCB scholarship page. There's a separate icon for us. Take a look at all the ones that are available. There's, I said there's over, there's 20 plus programs, and they have so many different criteria. And I know when I think scholarships, I think, oh, I guess you have to have a 4.0. No, you don't. We make scholarship opportunities available, and our donors make scholarship opportunities available very broadly. We want to help students. We want to help students who care about the risk management insurance function or the department, who care about the careers, recognizing there are financial struggles that people are facing, recognizing that grades can range widely, and recognizing so many people come from so many different backgrounds, that there are scholarship opportunities that are open and available for everyone. It's not just about grades. Leadership, community, your life story, your financial need, all those things matter too. The other thing I want to mention before moving on is, again, the connections to our donors, which are prominent industry representatives and executives and GSU graduates. It's not just those connections through the foundation, but through then the scholarships themselves, there's a lot of them have ties to internship opportunities and future career opportunities. And just making those connections is so important. And this can just be a really great first step into that. So we make them widely available. We'd love for people to apply. We've tried to make the application process a little bit easier this year. I think the tips on how to submit an application and sell yourself, I can't really add anything more to the great conversation we've heard so far today, but I do encourage people to apply. We'd love to see a broad array of people. Don't be afraid to apply. You can't win if you don't apply. So love to see some applications and love to see your passion in the risk management school. And with that, I think I have one more slide. And this is just a couple of snapshots of a couple of recent programs. As I mentioned, we're adding programs every year. And you can just see here with a couple of them, it's a lot of words on the page, so scroll quickly. And we'll just have it up for a second. So I'm not asking you, to memorize it. But you can see the types of criteria, and then the substantial nature of the scholarships, ties to internship. Again, these just I saw a comment come up and I'll answer it real quickly. The application through for these programs is for undergraduates. You don't have to be an RMI major. We accept for pre-majors, majors, designated interest in RMI. If in doubt, apply. If in doubt, take a look at it. So we do accept applications from majors and pre-majors, again, at really any point in your academic career. So with that, I'll pass it on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I would like to introduce Winnie Akande. And Winnie is from the School of Accountancy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eleanor. It's good to be with you all. I was going through the attendance list and I see a couple of names that I recognize. So I'm excited to be here. So my name is Winnie Akande. I work in the Office of Graduate Recruiting and Student Services, but I have a unique and special relationship with the School of Accountancy. So I also work with undergraduate students as well. And I am here just to provide some insight into what it's like to apply for the School of Accountancy scholarship process. So next slide. I feel kind of bad going coming after Dr. Cannon and RMI. I feel like, I don't know, I feel a little weird about my presentation, but I wanted to provide a lot of transparency into what maybe the committee is looking at. But if you are specifically an accounting major, our scholarships for the department are awarded in the spring semester, and that funding is provided in the same semester. So I think a lot of scholarships you apply and that funding comes later. But one of the unique things about our scholarship is that if you apply in the spring semester and it's funded in that same semester. So for instance, I know some people look at scholarships to plan for as a way to pay for school. You couldn't use that funding to pay for school because you would have already paid at that point. But to be eligible, we really do look a lot at your GSU GPA. And so the way it works is that in the fall semester of every year, every student who's in good academic standing, both undergraduate and graduate, they are invited to apply in January to the SOA scholarship application. So the first requirement is that you actually be in good academic standing, and it varies from undergrad to grad, but everyone in good academic standing is given the list to apply. Are given the link to apply. And so for us in the department, actually very opposite of what goes on, what hospitality and RMI shared, is primarily based on merit. And the merit we're talking about is your Georgia State GPA, and it makes up about 90% of the decision. And so in the School of Accountancy, scholarships are reserved for juniors, seniors, and graduate students in the School of Accountancy. So I know that there might be a lot of underclassmen on the call, but what I would say to that is that it really, really matters that you take even the classes that you don't think you'll ever use again. It really matters that you are intentional with those classes, because for accounting, we do look at them. So for us, GPA does matter. Next slide. So this is just a little bit of a check of what our statistics look like. So for this spring semester, because we just wrapped up our scholarship process, there were 433 eligible students, of which only 187 students applied. So the first real kind of takeaway from that statistic is that you have nothing to lose by applying, especially for internal scholarships. We actually have access to your official grade, so we're not going to ask you to pay for a transcript or anything. And so of that 187 applied students, 22 students received scholarships, or about 5% of eligible students. So that's just to stress that it's a pretty competitive process, but by no means should that dissuade you. Applying to scholarships, and I can say this as an alum of Georgia State, honestly, the scholarships are asking you questions that you should already know about yourself. So why are you in your specific program? What do you hope to get out of that? And that if you can find that unique niche, like what makes you different from all other students who want to be a CPA, that's going to be really helpful when you apply to other scholarships. But just so you have some context, when I say, what's a good GPA? So for our recipients, the average GPA of the undergrads was a 4.1. In our Masters of Taxation program, it was a 3.8. And then in the MPA program, our Masters of Professional Accountancy program, it was 4.2. The average cash award was about $3,200. The biggest amount went to one student was $7,500, and the smallest amount was $1,000. And in total, the School of Accountancy awarded $72,000 in the spring 2021 semester. So wanting to give you some, as a numbers person, give you real insight into what that looks like. Next slide. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and a lot of people have said this too, so I think it's, there are a lot of opportunities for scholarships outside of the department. I know when I was a student, I applied to both the Georgia Society of CPA scholarships and the American Institute of CPA scholarships. And I'm going to actually go ahead and put those links in the chat for anyone who's interested. And so the big takeaway here is that scholarships for these external applications open up in November of each year and close in February. And so one thing that I would add to what has all been said already is one of the things that I would encourage you to do in your research and planning is to get a sense of when these scholarships open, and then go ahead and get, certain documents ready. So if it's an external scholarship, making sure you have a current application. If it requires an essay, usually essays are asking about your career goals. And so you don't have to wait to answer those questions. You already know them. And that will actually give you the opportunity to spend some time writing and refining what your career goals are. And to a point that Dr. Cannon made, being like showing like your unique offering, like what makes you different and what makes you special, and being vulnerable and opening up and sharing that. Next slide. Think of one more slide. Okay, how to be competitive. So for accounting students, your GPA does matter. We do ask for your resume and essay questions, but quite frankly, like we are looking at those things when we have two candidates who are otherwise matched in their GPA. The other thing too that comes up is that for accounting students, and I just sent out a big email blast to students on 2 scholarships that opened up, that they're external, but they're not like promoted anywhere on a website. And so I sent an email about that. So be sure to check your email. And I know I represent accounting, but like the other departments have said, if your department's not represented here today, I would spend some time figuring out who is that person in that given department that's going to have the information about scholarship opportunities. And the other thing, and I can't stress this enough from personal experience, apply to as many scholarships as you're eligible for. I would imagine that Jeremy has applied to more than 10 scholarships and was awarded 10. So some of this is just a numbers game. And the other thing I see so often is that really great students discount themselves, and you shouldn't discount yourself here. You really just shouldn't discount yourself. Apply for as many as you're eligible. And if they're internal, we're probably not going to ask for your transcript. And if they're external, remember that, as a Georgia State student, you get 5 free official transcripts. And then after that, I think it's $10. So $10 could go a really long way in helping you fund your education. And so with that, that's my last slide. I will turn it back to Eleanor.
Thank you, Winnie. That was awesome. We appreciate that. Um, when you look at the website, you will notice that there are some departments who offer scholarships that you can apply for, and there are some departments who offer scholarships for which you must be nominated. And we wanted to ask Miss Alicia Golar from the Department of Computer Information Systems, to share with us her perspective, since Computer Information Systems is one of those departments where you have to be nominated for the scholarship. So without any further ado, Miss Alicia, you're on.
Hello, everyone. I am the Academic Administrative Specialist for the Department of Computer Information Systems. I also manage and coordinate the CIS scholarships. I've been doing that for probably the past 5 years. So with all the information you've gotten so far with the previous departments, I kind of just want to jump into some of our CIS scholarships so that you're aware of them, because like Eleanor has said, majority of our scholarships are based on nomination, or if you've been invited to apply for them. So the 6 that we have here are also listed on the Robinson College of Business's website under the scholarships. And I think Amanda has already placed that link into the chat for anyone who wants to review the details of each. That way that if I don't go over something, you can also look at the details of each scholarship and get more information on it, or ask me questions later on if you need more information. But I'll start with the first 2 that we have here, because both of these scholarships are actually by graduates of Georgia State University. We have the Bergeron Women in Technology Leadership Scholarship, and we have the Jeff and Sheree Wong Scholarship. Both of these scholarships are academic based, so we definitely look at your GPA first before we start to make decisions. But these scholarships have way more to them than just the GPA. As discussed before, these scholarships look at your leadership skills. They look at what you're doing on campus. They look at how you're standing out from students who are doing the same thing. We have so many great students in our program that it makes it very hard to decide who should actually be the recipient of these awards. So I usually tell students that if they are nominated, or if they get the invitation to apply, be sure that they are doing everything within that application to make sure that you stand out above the rest by, talking about your story, or giving us who you are, not just the generic information. The next one I'm going to discuss briefly is the KABC Leadership Award. That award has been given out through our department as well, and this one is academic based as well. When I say academic based, I mean the top 10% of our students are nominated for this award. That one basically goes to undergraduate students within our CIS undergraduate program. So I usually tell students with this one to just pay attention to your email, or make sure that you're checking things, because this one is not one that is given out like the rest at like the beginning of like the fall semester. We actually do this one around the spring. And it's one, like I said, that is definitely academic based more so than anything else. And we do ask for certain criteria. So the first 3 that you see here, the Bergeron, the Jeff and Sheree Wong, and the KABC Leadership Award, they all require recommendations and essays. So not only are you getting this nomination or this invitation to apply, you also have to make sure you have some type of network to turn to get the recommendations to speak on your behalf. The next 3 are awards that are given to students in our department. The Information Systems Audit and Control Association Scholarship, that is actually given to students in our graduate program through the ISACA chapter here in the Atlanta area. They've been giving that award out for a number of years, and it actually goes to students who show their leadership skills when it comes to our SACA student organization, classroom, and again, academics. So the GPA does have play a role in that one as well. Cotterman Outstanding Student Award is an award that's given out through our department, basically to the graduate students who have high academic achievement within our graduate program. And the award is named for the first department chair for the CIS department, which is William C. Carterman. And the last one here is the Roselle Outstanding Programmer Award. So if anyone is a CIS major on this particular call, they know that programming is one of the first classes that you take to even enter our undergraduate program. So it's pretty much a big deal. So with the James P. Roselle Outstanding Programmer Award, that award goes to students who actually have made a difference within the career tracks when it comes to programming within our department. And there are a few classes that the student will have had to have taken in order for us to make that designation for that particular student. So those are just the ones that are offered to students from the CIS department, but I highly encourage anyone that's on this call, if you are not involved in student organizations, that this is another opportunity for you to receive scholarships. Just looking at the attendance, I see a few members from like Women in Technology on here and AIS, so I know that a lot of these students may be aware of this, but if you are a CIS major, I highly recommend that you do get involved with your student organizations because they have so many awesome awards that you can apply for that may not be the same thing as the criteria or the eligibility that you had to go through with scholarships from the CIS department. And for the most part, one of the great scholarships that I've had a chance to actually help manage is the WIT GSU scholarship on behalf of the members through WIT Campus Scholarship. So the parent chapter is actually responsible for this particular scholarship. I think it's a great scholarship since I've been advising the Women in Technology student chapter group here at Georgia State. We were launched on campus in 2016. And the great thing about it is that every year we've had a student win the WIT Campus Scholarship. And if it wasn't one, it was at least two. And this is a great scholarship because it's for like $5,000 to $10,000 once a year. And I think if I'm not mistaken, that happens sometime around in the spring. Another one that is really unique is if you are a member of AITP GSU, there's a Julian P. Wade Junior Scholarship, and it's for a nice amount of money as well. Another scholarship that I've seen our students get, which is more so on the graduate level, is the ISSA GSU Education Foundation Award. That particular scholarship has helped students as well. But again, you have to be a member of all of these student organizations in order to apply for them. But again, that's just something I say that students should just do because it allows them to build their networking, allows them to get mentorship along with career opportunities, and again, with scholarships as well. And the last thing, if you are a CIS major, I always tell students, please become involved with the department, because if you are at least just checking our newsletters or staying up to date with us through different types of communications that we send out to the students, you'll see that we always include information on not just careers, but scholarship opportunities. So the Georgia CIO Leadership Association Scholarship is one that has been given out over the years to graduate students. NCR Scholarship has been one as well. Recently, the Georgia HIMSS David Cohen Scholarship is one that we have been promoting since January, and it was a pretty nice scholarship. I think up to like $3,000 for students who were in health informatics. And last but not least, the ITSMF Scholarship is one in which our department partnered with this particular form to basically provide mentorship to our CIS majors, along with provide these scholarship opportunities as well. So again, if you're just staying connected with the department, there's no way that you will not see these scholarships. They're there. We basically encourage you to apply. If you get this, if you're nominated, if you're given an invitation, you can ask me any questions that you have. I'm sure I could probably provide an answer. And for the most part, just do your best, be yourself, stand out. Oh, and there's another slide here. And these are just some of the pictures here of just some of the students we've had over the years to win these different types of awards. And we also celebrate our students at the annual Robinson College of Business Honors Day. And I love helping with coordinating this event for our students because it just showcases how awesome they are.
Thank you very much, Alicia. So far we have been talking about scholarships that are specific to departments in Robinson. Now we're going to talk about a broad range of scholarships that are actually that go across the college and are not major specific. And I would like to introduce Colleen Joyce, who is the chair of the Dean's Office Scholarship Committee, to share those with us. Colleen?
Thank you, Eleanor. I want to be super respectful of everybody's time, so we're running a little bit short, 4 minutes. I have the easiest scholarship out there. I am the chair of the Dean's Office Scholarship Committee and have been for the last several years. The link below will lead you to the page for the scholarships. The first gray box up on the left will have a link to submit for just the scholarships that are awarded through the Dean's office. Many of these scholarships are not department specific, they're not major specific, they are undergraduate, graduate students. Most of them are financial need based. So one of the important things you need to do is make sure to fill out your FAFSA form because that will be required. And as other people have talked about before with this particular committee, because it is not linked to a department or specific major, it is unbiased. We do not have information on students. We don't know your name. We're looking at what you provide in the application when you fill it out. So being very genuine, answering all of the questions, put in your personal statement, and tell us what makes you unique. Tell us what makes you a part of Robinson. Tell us something that will make you stand out. And the committee itself works very hard to try and match as many students with as many scholarships as possible through the Dean's office. And the scholarship application is open now. You have no reason, spring break next week, not to go in there and fill out the application, and it's open until March 31st, and the scholarships are awarded for fall semester. So I've given you homework. Start working on it. Get that application in there. There is more money than you would ever think that there is, and one of my favorite things to do is to give it away. So make me happy.
Thank you, Colleen. That's wonderful. We've gotten a couple of questions, but I think you've answered them. The question about the FAFSA application, Farial answered that, and yes, you will need to do that. The one question that we've received, and you can help us with that, is what are some of the common mistakes that you see on applications? And this is really for everyone, but Colleen, I'd like to start with you since you have so many applications that come in from so many different students for so many different scholarships.
Right, and I think it has been addressed already. I would say the most important part is that you have to think that you are applying for a scholarship and you don't know the people who are reading it. So you want to make sure that you fill out check all the boxes, fill out all the questions. If there's an essay, if we ask you to submit a resume, just make sure that you do that, and being very thoughtful and genuine in your answers. If it's a stock, if you answer the questions as in general and don't put a piece of your heart in it, it just makes it harder for you to stand out. So I think the common mistake is just not taking the time to fill out the application completely. We make it pretty easy for you. So
yeah, a single application is awesome. One other question, what makes applications for the Dean's Office scholarships competitive?
Well, I think the nice thing about the Dean's Office scholarships is that we do the work for you. So we ask for all of your information, not grades. We get to pull all that information up. But we ask for everything, and then we put everybody in the pool and literally try and match students with the best scholarship available to them. So you may qualify for 10 students or for 10 scholarships across the board. And we're going to find the best one for you in terms of where you would fit competitively. So there's really not a lot you can do except for represent yourself well. We do the hard work for you.
Any special advice for students who are transferring into the downtown campus?
Nope. I don't think that we don't. Again, it's a very at least from the dean's office scholarship committee, it is unbiased. We do not have student names. We don't have IDs. So a transfer student is the same as a resident student. You know, a junior, senior, freshman, sophomore. I just encourage everybody to apply. I really think it's a disservice to yourself as a student not to at least fill the application out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Kayla asked, how should I modify my dean's office scholarship in a way that helps me to be a recipient again if I was already a past recipient?
Again, there is no bias towards if you've received it in the past that you could not receive another scholarship in the future. So if additional things have happened in your life since the last time that you filled out the application, put those on there, and that might put you in a pool for another set of scholarships that you weren't eligible for prior to. So if students get dean's office scholarships every year.
Okay. And we also got a couple of questions about PhDs and international students. Any thoughts there? Any advice?
I don't think there's any advice other than there is no distinction. There are some MOUs who will look, or donors who will look for international students, or there are some who look for PhD or just graduate students. And then there are some who don't care. So like I said, the committee, at least from the Dean's Scholarships Office, we really try and make sure if we have a scholarship that's looking for PhD students, that we pull all the PhD students out of the pool and make them competitive for that one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then if there's others that they don't care, then they're still in that pool as well. So again, we try to do the hard work for you. So but I can't make you apply. So I would encourage all international students, undergrad, graduate, PhD, just put the application in. You're just giving me more work to do, and I love it.
I think we couldn't ask for anything better. I think that's all of the questions. We have one actually. Are scholarships similar to applying for internships? And I think we will take that one offline because there are some distinct differences. And so since we're focused on scholarships today, Amar, I will come back to you in a separate email. I think that covers all of the questions that we had. Colleen, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you to all of our panelists. And now I would like to turn it back over to Dean Phillips to make some closing comments. Thank you, Dean.
And I want to say thank you very much to this amazing panel of faculty and staff and directors who've come here today to share with us the tips and tricks for getting a scholarship. I hope all students have had an opportunity to understand that there are many scholarship opportunities that are offered at the departmental level, that are offered at the college-wide level, that departments in the college can help to facilitate within the industry and with our corporate partners and within professional associations at the national level. And that there are many, many opportunities for our students, and that there's great passion amongst the people that you've met here today to make sure that we can connect you with those opportunities. And so please take these people up on their offers. Their passion is to connect you with these opportunities to lower the amount of debt that you take to get through to your degree and to have success, and perhaps even more importantly, to meet a donor or to meet a funder and to go through the process of being able to talk about yourself and to make yourself authentic to a potential funder and learn more about yourself through the process. And so today was a day about learning about all the people that are here at Robinson that make these things happen, and how we're in it together for you as students to make sure that you get through your degrees in the cheapest way possible and in a way that helps you to grow and develop in the fastest way possible. So thank you very much for everyone who came today. We hope this was a valuable session for you. If you have any additional questions, be sure to reach out to any of the participants that were here today or to Eleanor, and we will be happy to answer your questions as we follow through. We look forward to seeing you next week for another session of We're in This Together. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.